Okay, so hi there. It's springtime here in Alaska. I finally got my trailer bare out of the winter storage lot and over to the storage lot I use in Anchorage, closer to town, closer to home for the summer. And it's time to start working on some projects. I wanted to work on my Max Air roof vent, but it has been raining and it's clearing off, but there's a lot of dark clouds still on the horizon, and I'm not going to put a hole in the roof to leave open and let the rain come in, even though I'm going to be plugging it with something else. That's a good weather project no matter what you do. So today I'm going to do the Micro Air Easy Touch RV thermostat, which is a wireless thermostat. It's Bluetooth for setup and for operation. It's also Wi-Fi. If you have Wi-Fi in your rig, it'll talk to that and you can access it from anywhere that you have an internet connection, which I do have a router that plugs into a MiFi hotspot that I'm set it up to talk to when I am hooked up, in case I have it parked somewhere where I can leave it, I'm going someplace, whatever, and I just want to turn it down, turn it up. But elsewise, for the most part, I'm just going to use it Bluetooth, because a lot of times when camping, we're off the grid, and it doesn't do me any good to have all the wireless, the Wi-Fi stuff. That's just a secondary bonus to the program. I wanted to go with the smart thermostats because I have them in my house, and I've really enjoyed having smart thermostats. I can turn them up, turn them down from anywhere. When I'm traveling out of state, of which I just got back from a trip down to California to go see the Cool April Nights car show in Redding, California. If you've never seen that, go. It's worth your time. I thought I've done some really good car shows with the car we show here, the Red 57 Chevy that we built for our dad. And thought I did, 400 to 600 car shows. That's big time. Nah, I've lived a sheltered life in Alaska. But anyways, on my way home, because I had my house turned down low while I was sitting in the Seattle airport, I turned the temperature back up on my house to get it back to more comfortable temperatures, not energy saving, you're not home temperatures. And I just like that ability. With the Bluetooth, I can turn up and down the heat from bed, which I've done at home. It's actually kind of a nice thing. You start feeling cold, just grab the phone, turn it up. It's nice. And the thermostat's actually all the way forward against the bedroom and the hallway between the bedroom and the bathroom in my rig. And if Trish is still sleeping and I'm at the other end doing quiet stuff, walking around and trying to set the thermostat's just going to wake her up. So I'm just going to go wireless and smart because, well, I've bought it. Let's turn the camera around. So what we've got here is the Micro Air Easy Touch RV thermostat. In this case, mine is model ASY-351-X01. And as it says, it's a cool experience from anywhere. I've watched a ton of YouTube videos on this from other RVers, and it looks fairly straightforward. The thermostat that I have, let me get up here, is a Dometic thermostat, and there's nothing wrong with it. It works, it does its job. It's just not a smart thermostat. I can't run it wirelessly, so that's today's plan. We're going to swap that out and get online. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is pop off this cover plate. The Dometic one just pops out at the bottom, hangs off the top off of these two, it locks on with that one. We have to undo these three wires. They're color coded, and go to the specific ports, the 12 volt power, negative, positive, and common, or communications, I'm guessing that one is. So the thermostat I bought is supposed to be the direct replacement to this. It shouldn't be too hard. I've got to take off these two screws here, pull the wires, and since I'm working one hand of the camera, I'll have to stop, but you get the idea. So using the old thermostat as the roadmap, red is 12 volt positive, white is 12 volt negative, and green is comms. So, like I said, red is positive. There's 12 volt positive on the bottom, is embossed into the thing. White is negative, 12 volt ground, and green is comms. I mean, this is about as straightforward as it gets. This is a press-in fitting. You just strip the wires back, push them in, And to release them, you twist those with a screwdriver and it opens up the jaws. As you can see, top is there. I'm not sure why they made everything upside down, but top goes that way and it's going to mount up right here. Before I start putting holes in the walls and everything to put the new screws and the new mounting hardware on, I'm going to power up really quick and make sure it sees life. Okay, we've gone out, turned on the battery. Let's have a look. We've got a screen. It says 62. It's actually colder than that. This just came out of my truck and it's just cooling off. So let me get the mounting screws and we'll hang this and start programming. Okay, so the mounting screws are kind of foolproof for the spacing. They come with their own spacer built onto them. You put them on and then you cut it off in between so that the eyes will line up and slide right over. I just lined up with the original hole on one side and just went straight across to the other side because we knew level's level. It was level before. So we're just going to reuse that. But because I forgot to bring my side cutter pliers, I was trying to get out of the house. Never be without Leatherman's. My mini Leatherman's got a pair of scissors on it. It'll cut through that like nothing. But all you do is you cut off this and it hooks on. So let me pause you right here and then I will cut that and then I'll bring you back to hang it on. Okay, so we've cut the tab off. And let me see if I can do this one-handed. That goes that way for up, correct? Top, yes. It does tell you top and bottom. You slide it over. Yeah. If I can do this one-handed. All right. Let me pause you again. I'm going to need two hands. It should just snap right on, but it may be off just a hair. So hold on. Well, silly me. It had pulled on and I didn't realize it. And it's on there now. So I've got to do a little work here. I've got to install the app for the thermostat and get it going here. Most of this, it should operate itself. We've got the power on and the propane on. And got to make sure I've got all the right settings on this. This is new stuff for me. So stand by. Okay, so for the app, we go to the Easy Touch app, which brings up Micro Air and does its thing. And since the trailer's called Bear, it's the Bear's thermostat. So we tap on that. And we can see that it's set on furnace mode. The fan is on high because it only has one choice while it's working. When it starts communicating, you'll see the Bluetooth app popping up. So I can crank it up, crank it down from the touch screen. I can set it cooler, and just as I set it cooler, I hear the burner shut off on the furnace. It's now a set point. But this allows me to go through and set the fan, run it, the mix of the fan and the furnace for cooling and heating, so if it's cold at night and hot during the day, just straight air conditioning. But for the most part, for my purposes, because I'll be not hooked up to where I can run the fan, we're just going to be on the furnace setting. But it's a slick little setup. You can set it where you want it. Set the heat on, the furnace is going to come back up, but if I turn it off, the burner shuts off and the fan will cool down. So yeah, neat little setup. So we've got the thermostat in. We've made some changes through the app. I don't have my generator with me to go onto the 30 amp, so I'm not going to test the AC or the fan right now for the fan and the AC unit. But as you can see on this app, or this icon, it's set for heat. I've got it set for 70 degrees, and I can run that up and down on the touch screen here, or I can do that through the app. So it's a pretty slick little setup. It says it's 59 degrees in here. I've got a door open, so it's the furnace is just kind of running. But yeah, that was pretty darn simple, pretty darn straightforward. Okay, so thanks for following along and watching my video on how I installed a new smart thermostat in my trailer bear. This is a fairly easy project. This is how I did it. It's not how you do it. That's why you read the instructions, just like I read the instructions. I watched a ton of other people installing the same units on their trailers on YouTube. I would recommend doing the same and getting a consensus of what everybody did. You'll find through all that the common points, which in this one is not very much. But what you do need to do if you want to do this is you need to go to the manufacturer's website and look up which thermostat fits your particular rig. It has a questionnaire. It asks you which thermostats you have, what you have with it, and it deduces what you need. Mine was fairly straightforward and simple. It was just the Dometic thermostat. That's a 3-wire unit. Some of the ones I've seen, I believe, had power bridges that plugged into the back. None of this is very hard. It's just making sure you get the right thermostat to run what you need. So do that little bit of research and footwork if you're going to do this on your unit. And it'll be easy peasy, nothing to it. For me, like I said before, I've got smart thermostats in my house. I really enjoy their usability and the fact that I can manipulate them from my phone, whether it's I'm in bed and I just feel a little cold. And usually that's in the wintertime when the temperature drops really cold outside and you feel a little cold shedding off the walls a little bit. Sometimes you just need a little oomph on the heat. I don't think I'll be using the Wi-Fi service on the thermostat. It's no charge for it. It's just part of what the thermostat does. But if I do have it on, great. But for the most part for me, this is just about Bluetooth and being able to set a temperature from bed, from the back end of the camper, because the thermostat's all the way up front. Not that I'm too lazy to go up front. But I find in the mornings I forget to turn the heat back up when I walk past the thermostat coming out of the bedroom, going into the back living area. And all of our rigs, they all shake around a little bit when we move. And if Trish is with me and sleeping in, I'm fairly considerate about that in the morning. I usually get up and do quiet stuff, check my emails, check Facebook, check whatever I've got going. So I just do quiet stuff in the morning. And I've noticed on a few mornings, like I said, I forget to kick the heat up, so I could just grab my phone. Everybody has one. And turn the heat up from where I'm sitting. So just another gadget, boys and toys. We love our gadgets. I'm sure a lot of people like their gadgets. I'm very gadgety. So anyways, but hey, thanks for coming along. Next video, hopefully we'll get working on either the Max Air fan for the bathroom or the Lippert thin shade, I think is what it's called, the new window for the door that is smoke tinted, but you can see through it, and it has a shade that slides up and down to cover it up at night, or when you want the lights blacked out. Those are my next projects coming up, and then this summer we get solar going. I need to do the Max Air project first because I want to open up the roof where that fan sits in and see what my trusses look like, what style trusses I have. That'll determine how big of bolts I need to put through to hold the unistrut down. I've been 3D printing riser pads for the unistrut to go where the bolts go so that the rainwater will roll or shed off the roof under the unistrut and not build up against it, because if it builds up against it, it's just one more way to force water to leak in through something you've tried to waterproof. Or at least that's how I look at it. So, anyways, more to come this summer. Things are thawing out, and don't mind me looking out my windows because that's where I'm seeing spring. And we'll catch you in the next video.